Catus, Maximus here. Just want to do a little video. This happens to be a vintage pair of number 516s. However, Channel Lock still makes these. They've probably been making these things for half a century. That would be a little bit different from the 526. Do not like the laser etching of modern Channel Lock tools. Always annoying. Although I do like the hot rivet, the hard rivet. It tends to hold up a little bit better, I think, over the long term. Anyway, these are standard pliers, the 526s. The 516s, you look and you say, oh, it looks like somebody ground down the jaws. These are actually known as slim jaw slip joint pliers. I believe Diamond Tools is who invented the slip joint plier and really sold probably the most of them. But Channel Lock certainly makes a really competitive pair. The only difference between these and the current ones is current ones have blue dipped handles like that, and of course laser etching. So I kind of like I got this older pair. The newer ones do have that hard rivet. This one still uses the traditional screw. The whole point to these, and you can kind of recognize them, is just the fact that they're slip joint pliers that just have jaws that have been ground down at the factory just to be a little bit narrower. These are both 6-inch pliers. We should show that here. Both 6-inch pliers, but if we look, we can see that the jaws are quite a bit more narrow. I don't know if they're still doing this, but on this old pair, you can see they use a diamond pattern for the cross hatching on the jaws, the grip area on the jaws. Where on these, it's just straight across. Another thing I always kind of liked about Channel Locks as far as slip joint pliers, both the 526s and these old ones, that their teeth happen to be exceptionally aggressive, just really deep, really sharp teeth. Pretty nice set. Another thing, pretty good precision here. On some slip joints, you just turn them a little bit and they'll slip, kind of indicating that they're the figure 8 pattern. Just isn't particularly well machined, but on these, you have to get them almost 90 degrees. What that indicates is that there's just a bit bigger of a nub right in the middle. Allows them to have a little bit more space. Or, excuse me, take a little bit more load when you're using them. It's not an issue when you're using them in the larger capacity, but the load is there when you're using them in the more normal and lower capacity, or smaller jaw position is what I should say. What I do like is how these Channel Locks do have a nice wide flared handle. Makes them pretty comfortable to use, especially when you're squeezing on stuff hard. Anyway, that's what kind of attracted me to these. I never had a pair of slim nose slip joint pliers, but that's just the whole point of these things, is just to be able to get into excuse me, slightly tighter areas than more traditional ones. It's being a little bit more narrow. And then we can see in this direction where they've tapered them down just to a more tighter point. So these are kind of maybe even more useful in a lot of situations. They may not be quite as durable because of the narrower jaws, but they kind of act like slightly like duckbill pliers in some situations. You know, poor man's needle nose and others in some situations. And I kind of like these, and I'm actually surprised to see that Channel Lock is still making them, but kind of happy at the same time. I'm sure a pair of pliers like this, there'll be certain situations where I just really need some kind of aggressive grip. And as far as using a pair of slip joint pliers, I actually think these 516s would come in handy more often than the bulky jaw 526s. Anyway, just wanted to share those with you, and share that I was actually surprised that these are still American made, even over half a century. Kind of happy about that. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Till next time, Catus Maximus out.